Hey, I'm Mark McGrath from Financial Edge Group. We specialise in helping people get themselves set up for retirement. We actually work with a lot of business owners to make sure this happens for them. One of the biggest things I see is business owners work really hard, year in, year out, build a great business, but don't really set themselves up in the right manner. And so I want to make sure that you're doing that ideally from as early as you can. So we sit down and make sure that we've got both strategy in place to build wealth inside the business and even more importantly, outside the business. We have a process that we take people through to make sure this gets done in the right manner. Now, there's multiple steps in this, but let me try and really simplify it down to kind of 3 key steps, which is 1, understand your numbers and have a bit of a strategy and a budget. So what's the business look like? If the business has been running for a few years, we already know what was last year's numbers, what are we budgeting for this year, what do we think we're on track for in terms of sales, costs, staffing, all that kind of stuff. All right, we're estimating a profit of X. Doesn't matter what that number is. Could be 100 grand, could be $1 million, anywhere in between. Doesn't matter, but we need to know what that number is. Once we know what that number is, we then can go to step 2. Step 2 effectively is make sure we build and secure a buffer. Before we start spending and allocating surplus money, all that kind of stuff, make sure we have a buffer. Always recommend people have a buffer in their personal finances and wealth, be it extra in the offset account, ahead of the mortgage, all that kind of stuff, usually 3 months. Businesses also need that buffer, essentially. We're living in crazy times. We don't know what effectively next month could look like or next year could look like. We always want to make sure we have that buffer. Again, there's multiple steps to do this, but to simplify it, we want to make sure we've got that buffer. Every business is a bit different, but we definitely we quantify that with the clients that we want. We want you to have X amount in here for this reason, protect it, make sure it's effectively set up and accessed even when we need it. It might not even be in the business, but it might be known that they are funds for the business for this particular reason. Once we've got that buffer, we go to step 3, which is simplify. Let's invest it. Know what surplus we've got. We've got tax sorted, we've got expenses sorted, we've got our buffer sorted, we've got our personal expenses sorted. How much do we need to live off? Invest the rest and automate it. So that might be that, okay, I'm making 100 grand, I want to live off 60, there's a 40 grand surplus. How do we make sure that is invested in the right manner? Potentially saving on tax, building some assets for us, using some debt in our favour to making sure we're getting ahead. It might be that we're making 500,000. We want to live off 250. Cool, our surplus is 250. Let's set that up in the right way to making sure that's building some wealth for us. And importantly, we automate it. We create the plan, we create the goal, we set it up so that it happens automatically along the way. If that makes sense, you want to find out more, you want us to take you through our steps, reach out, book an appointment in at financialedgegroup.com.au.